Hello friends, we have a new bike rack from OUTFITR. So this bike rack is rated as 200 pounds total weight, so 100 pounds per tray with extreme off-road capability. So what's my favorite thing to do is test the marketing, so let's go. So we got a nice little whoop section. We're gonna see how stable this bike is at like 30 miles an hour off-roading in sand. Okay, so the pin is in the wrong location and I figured it out later that night. Now for the rest of day one, the pin is in the wrong location, so if you see it jostling, just remember it is not installed correctly. So I didn't want to shred the bike rack right away, so I did some normal four-wheel driving in the dunes before going full Dukes of Hazzard. I thought you were gonna give me a ride home after that. So getting out to this campsite, I did bend the ramp pretty good, but I think it's still gonna work. So this rack is super heavy duty construction. I think it's 100% steel. So let's talk about assembling this bike rack in the garage. It is a very simple process bolting it together. You do have to unbolt some of these tray arms to get the mounting bolts secured through there. But I did find one somewhat of an issue because of the 100% steel construction on this bike rack. It is a bit of a pig to lift up and mount. So this arm folds all the way down so we can get the tray inside of there, but we'll deal with the tray later. So basically I cannot use the hatch because this doesn't have a mechanism to tilt down, but there might be a workaround. This is the exact moment I realized I had the pin in the wrong location during that savage day of four-wheel driving. So unfortunately there's no tilt down mechanism, so you need to remove the bikes off of the rack to open the hatch. Okay, so this button does take a little bit of force depending on how tight you cinch the bike down. Okay, so the bike rack bouncing like crazy was because I put this in the wrong slot. This is actually a storage bin slot, so we gotta go do another Dukes of Hazzards with the bike on there and see how much it basically goes boom. After getting the pin in the right location, there is 100% zero wobble out of this bike rack, basically ever. So after almost flipping the 4Runner yesterday, I just didn't have it in me to go do another run of Dukes of Hazzard, but I can confidently tell you With the pin installed in the wrong location, it's the most secure bike rack I've ever seen. But this does come with a little bit of a compromise. After taking the 2-bike tray OUTFITR bike rack on a nice little fun camping trip 4-wheel driving, I did get pretty acquainted with this rack, so it does come with a little bit of a compromise. It is a massive bike rack, so have at least a mid-size SUV because it is pretty heavy and it does stick way outside of your car. Even in the folded up position, it does add like nearly a foot to your car. A little bit of a bummer, we don't have a lever to fold it down, but considering its affordable price tag, I'll take it. And I don't think many bike racks on the market would have survived basically rambling through the dunes. So I'm pretty impressed with it so far. So I took it off the car and let's check it out next week. Getting the bike rack onto the car can be a little bit difficult just because it's so wide, large. It's not that heavy, 60, 70 pounds I'm guessing. With a massive 24mm bolt securing this into your 2-inch only receiver. It says don't use impact guns, so I pulled mine out. We have 2 positions for the pin, the storage position and the fold down position. So I messed that up the first day, but not the second. Underneath the trailer pin, we do have like an anti-rattle mechanism that I forgot to tighten the first day, but today it's fully tight. We're gonna do the standard speed bump test. Okay, the bike rack is 100% loaded correctly with the pin in the right location. Tires are at a normal pressure. Gonna make sure it's nice and tight. And then we're going to do the speed bump test. First run at the speed bumps, 20 miles an hour, does not phase this bike rack at all. So let's watch it in slow motion. Completely zero wobble. So let's do the 30-mile-an-hour test. So this is like simulating you accidentally hitting a speed bump you don't see. So it is the most stable bike rack I have ever seen. The hitch-mounted ramp is completely bent from 4-wheel driving, but it still works, and you can hook it on either side of the bike rack, which is kind of cool. Sometimes they're only on one side. So there's a little lever button you got to press down, and I cinched it super tight because I don't want the bike to fall off. So if this gets stuck, you just push on the top part while pressing the button, and it will release. These red metal flanges basically guide the bike into place if you are using the ramp. I usually lift my bike onto there, so I didn't attach the other one on the front side, so it's just missing, but it does come with one. Okay, that's enough of the fat bike. Let's get a normal 2.5-inch wide mountain bike tire on this rack. And it already is a little bit more sloppy with the narrower tires. So let's give it a little extra. So the bike was incredibly stable, the fat tire bike, because they're so wide, but we're gonna try it with this one. It's already a little bit less stable. So a little bit less stable, but still the most stable bike rack I've ever seen. Speed bumps at 30 miles an hour. It's about as secure as you're gonna get the bike. This bike rack that grabs onto the tires does have one downside. So if you have long fenders, it is not gonna work. So Outfitters does make other bike racks. You're gonna get the center post rack, the one on your screen right now, and that one's going to work a lot better with fenders. I would definitely prefer the one that grabs onto the tires because you're going to throw the tires away. They're kind of a wear item, but you got to pick your poison here. Now, if you're in the market for shopping for bike racks, you got to click this playlist on your screen because I've reviewed some of the cheapest and most expensive bike racks on the market.